think it might be recording and I'm not even over there. Oh, it is. That's what happens. See, I can't even like straighten this out. That's what happens when I try to use a PC instead of my Mac. I love my Mac. It functions. Anyway, welcome to day 17 of my first documentary. Have something really cool to tell you, and if I was on my Mac, I could show it to you, but instead I'm just going to tell you about it. It's called FilmSupply. It is actually at FilmSupply.com, so that's like Film Supply spelled like one word, .com. They are stock footage, but they're better than stock footage. Like they have this form that you can fill out where you can tell them what your project is, what specific shots you're looking for, and they will actually search their archives and let you know within one business day if there are stock footage available for those shots that you need. Boom, done. So that's what I've been doing today, is putting that together and telling you about it. Yeah, so that's day 17. I'm also continuing to write on the questions, but today is Sunday, and I think I told you this. I take a break on Sunday. I chill on Sunday. My mind, my body, my spirituality, we all need to focus on Sundays. So on Sunday, I don't do as much work. I don't remember actually why I ended up on FilmSupply.com. I actually think I was looking up Andy Casagrande because my sons were watching clips from Shark Week. And if you don't know this about me already, Andy Casagrande is my favorite cinematographer. If it's normal for people to have a favorite cinematographer, but I do. I think his work is really cool. I mean, for one thing, he goes out and dives with sharks, but that's not why. I think the fact that he can go into that environment and get those shots while worried about dying, I mean, it's just all kinds of cool. And of course, his shots are beautiful, and just the films and stuff that get put together from what he shoots is really cool. So I was reading about him. He had some shots that are available on Film Supply. And so then I ended up checking out Film Supply. So that's there if you want to look at that. Also, something fun that I learned, I've been watching a lot of Bob Krist, not watching a lot of Andy Casagrande other than Shark Week stuff on the TV with my kids. But we were also, if you don't know this about my kids, they're so into wildlife. My son, if Andy Casagrande ends up watching this, you can know my son has decided he's going to get a camera. He's 10. He's decided he's going to get a camera and become a wildlife filmmaker because he thinks it's really cool that there is no barrier to entry there. He can just pick up the camera, go film, tell a story about any local wildlife. He did say he was going to leave the sharks to you, though, Andy, like he watches this. But my son's going to leave the sharks to you. He said he's not quite ready to dive into the ocean with a shark, but he watched another documentary called Hidden Creatures about a African shrew, a little mouse. And he's going to start with things like squirrels and birds in our backyard, and he's going to tell their stories on film. So you've inspired him, at least. That and the fact that our house is covered up in documentary stuff right now, so my son feels that he can dive into, and why not? So he's going to be my little filmmaking buddy, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I don't even remember why I went down that road. The cool thing I wanted to tell you about Andy Casagrande and watching Bob Krist, and the overarching message from every documentary thing I've been reading about how to do this is just take your camera out and go tell a story. You don't have to, even if you take a whole bunch of classes that tell you what to do, the next step is still going to be to just go and do it. So there's nothing wrong with just taking your camera, going out there and shooting it, and then editing it into a story. And now you're a documentary filmmaker. And every time you do that, every time you keep learning and practicing and doing something else, you're going to get better. So I'm really excited about the fact that I have everything I need to go out and start telling these stories. In fact, I was looking back through some of my footage that I've shot and episodes that I've put out on YouTube, and I have a documentary reel of, examples of my work that I could provide to people. So I'm looking into, how can I use what filmmaking experience I have to help someone now, and then I can grow through that process and get better at what I do. So that's day 17. I'll see you tomorrow.